The first few weeks after the funeral passed in a fog. Elena moved like a shadow in her parents' home, present, but not truly seen. She ate when food was placed in front of her, washed the dishes without complaint, and tried to stay invisible. But invisibility was never enough. Her mother's voice seemed sharper now, every word a lash. "Elena, why are you just standing there? Sweep the floor before your father gets home. You're so slow. Can't you do anything right? You're in high school now. Do you expect us to pay for all those projects? You think money falls from the sky?" Each scolding felt heavier than the last. Her mother never struck her with fists, but the sting of words sometimes cut deeper. Elena learned to flinch at the sound of her name, waiting for the next order, the next complaint, the next reminder that she was too much, too costly, too inconvenient. Her father was no comfort. When the factory where he worked shut down, he began spending his evenings in the corner store, hunched over bottles of cheap liquor. He would come home long after sunset, reeking of alcohol. Sometimes he stumbled through the door, muttering, sometimes shouting. Other nights, he collapsed onto the bamboo bench, silent and distant. Either way, he carried an anger that seeped into the walls of the house. "Elena, keep quiet when your father's home," her mother would hiss. "Don't give him a reason to get angry." So Elena tiptoed around her father, like one tiptoes around broken glass, careful, wary, always braced for the sharp edge. But high school was relentless. Projects demanded colored paper, glue, charts, and reports. Teachers sent letters home about unpaid fees. Elena's stomach knotted each time she was told to bring money for a requirement she knew better than to ask her mother. The last time she had tried, her mother's face twisted in fury. "You think I'm made of money, you ungrateful child? Always asking, always needing. Why don't you quit school if it's too expensive?" Her mother had raised her hand as if to strike, then stopped, but the threat lingered, enough to silence Elena. From then on, she turned to her relatives. A kind aunt slipped her coins when she visited. A cousin gave her old school supplies. A neighbor sometimes covered for her with the teacher. Each time someone helped, Elena felt torn between gratitude and shame. Gratitude because without them, she would fail. Shame because it only confirmed what she feared, that her mother was right, that she was nothing but a burden. Evenings in the house grew unbearable. Her siblings busied themselves with their own lives. Her mother nagged, her father drank, and Elena felt more like a guest than a daughter. She often sat by the window, staring out at the street, wishing she could escape to her grandmother's house. But the house was empty now, the wooden bench unoccupied, the warmth gone. She pressed her forehead against the cool bamboo wall and whispered into the night, "Lola, I miss you. Please tell me again that my life isn't a mistake." But there was only silence, broken only by the sound of her father's drunken snores. At school, she tried to hide her misery behind tired smiles. She laughed at jokes, even when they hurt. She gave her lunch money away if it meant someone would sit beside her. She let herself be used, because the fear of being left behind was worse than hunger. By the time she lay down at night, exhaustion pressed on her chest. Yet sleep rarely came easily. Her mother's words echoed in her mind. Her father's silence haunted her, and the ache of her grandmother's absence never dulled. In that house, Elena was a stranger, not a daughter, not a sister, just the unwanted fifth child, surviving one day at a time.